Okay, so I suggest that we'll start, and I'm sure that a few more people, will join us as we go. So, hi everyone, it's
Hello.
great to have you here. I'm Lilach. I'm the marketing director for VoIP Future. Let's do a little housekeeping before we start. Since we have many participants today, you're all placed on mute and videos will be turned off. We are going to use the Q&A panel for questions. So please submit any questions or comments that you might have during the session in this panel. We will monitor it throughout the session and we'll address them at the appropriate time. So please don't be shy. Put your questions and we'll get to them later. Today's session is scheduled for about 30 minutes. We are very happy to have two speakers in today's session. Michael Walbaum, Director of Product Marketing at VoIP Future. Michael, wave.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
And also Amir Aviv, Service Core and Analytics Engineer at Partner Communications. Hi, Amir.
Hello. Hi. Thanks for having me.
And without further ado, let me turn the session over to Michael and Amir, who will take it from here.
Thanks for the intro, Lilach. Actually, just to set the scene, let me just quickly show a couple of slides. Actually, let's do the entire screen. So I hope everyone sees my screen now, the presentation. And I mean, just before we get into the discussion, just to know that get us all on the same page, and why are we talking about VoLTE roaming and what needs to be considered, etc. So why VoLTE roaming? And that's actually quite simple, because operators want, and in some cases even must, shut down their 2G, 3G services to reuse the frequencies and to extend 4G, 5G coverage. And since so far 2G, 3G has been used as fallback for roamers, actually, if you switch these services off, you need VoLTE roaming to be in place, or otherwise roamers won't be able to use the service. So a couple of years back, GSMA developed the IR65 document, which detailed a set of reference architectures for VoLTE roaming. One was called local breakout, LBO, and the other one, basically the two main ones, and the other one was called S8 home routing, S8HR. And so the market settled for S8HR, probably mainly because it's relatively simple. So instead of the visiting network, which would be the case in the LBO option, the visiting network providing all the IMS services with the need, to communicate back to the home network. Basically, all the IMS services are provided by the home network, and that makes it rather straightforward, setting up the service as such. So let's look, I mean, the main question we want to address in this webinar is why VoLTE roaming or monitoring VoLTE roaming services is different from monitoring the VoLTE service as such. And so here we have the standard, basically, network architecture with the IMS on the right side, EPC, the blue boxes in the middle, and the EUTRON and the UE to the left. And the standard approach to monitoring VoLTE services, and the cheapest one actually, is to monitor the GM interface at the SGI. That's located close to the, or at the PCSCS sites, and they're not too many, at least far less than SGW, PGW sites, and so you need a lot less probes than for the other options. And the data at the GM of the GM gives you quite a lot, actually, quality data, in-call user experience, the SIP signaling from the UE to the PCSCF, and it's quite convenient. But you will need also to monitor the MW-MB interface, because that's where you get the keys for decrypting the GM, which is mostly encrypted for own subscribers, internal calls, on-net calls, and and it also allows you to monitor, of course, the SIP and RTP and signaling in-call quality, and correlate also these measurements with whatever you monitor in the EPC. A bit less common, I would say, but also very worthwhile, is monitoring the S1U, S11, because that allows you, also there you see the GM, but you're able to distinguish the quality by node B. So basically, you can monitor the dedicated traffic relations between all your node Bs and cells, even and the SGW, and that gives a very deep view into the performance of the different radio sites. And with the S11, you also get access to the bearer events. So those are basically the three sets of interfaces which are used for normal VoLTE monitoring. But as the name S8HR suggests, to monitor VoLTE roaming, you will need to look at the S8 interface, which is located between the SGW and the PGW. And that's a bit of a different beast, but let's first look at, let me just increase my real estate here. Okay, so basically, if we ignore all the rest, if we look at the roaming situation, then we have a roaming party connected to your B, and that's connected to your SGW, and then basically, as it's talking to its home network, the traffic breaks out at the S8, at the SGW, and goes to the home PGW of that subscriber, and crossing the IPX on the way, or general the internet. And so basically, we have a new monitoring point here, which was not so common before. Yeah, both visited and home PMNNs will want to monitor this S8 to look at the performance of your own subscribers, but also maybe of foreign subscribers roaming your network, which is what we see here, the situation. So basically, we have foreign subscribers here roaming in your network, and basically what you might want to know is the performance of the different home networks, and so basically you need to look at the traffic relations between your SGW and the foreign PGWs noted here by A, B, and C, and to see how the different home networks perform. This is maybe a bit more, let's say market intelligence or market research, how your competitors in foreign markets are doing. What operators will typically be more interested in is how well their own subscribers are served in foreign networks, and that's the situation that we have here. So basically, we're monitoring in front of the home PGW, and we have a set of visited networks, and basically you will want to know how the different visited networks compared, whether they meet the SLAs, and how your subscribers are doing in those networks. So that's basically the situation, and that's why monitoring BS8 is of course important for VoLTE roaming monitoring. Let's have a quick look at what's to be seen at that interface. What data can we extract if we monitor passively at the S8? So we have SIP, RTP, and the GTP tunnel, and so with the SIP protocol, we can obviously extract or generate KPIs and statistics on the call setup time, on the call duration, the setup success ratio, standard KPIs like the SER, formerly ASR, or the SER, formerly NER, and also drop call ratio, and basically anything related to the signaling, to the SIP signaling, or at this level. Then we also get to see the RTP, which allows us to provide information on the in-call user experience. So we can calculate the MOS score, we can, based on the jitter, the loss, and the codecs that we see there, and also calculate more fancy KPIs, let's say, on more meaningful KPIs, such as the ones described in ETCR 103639, the time slice KPIs, such as GMR and GSR and the like. So basically, that already gives you a full view into the user experience, and add to this the information provided by the GTP protocol. So basically, similar to what you see at the S11, you see the success ratios of creating and deleting sessions, creating and deleting bears, which QCI classes were used, and a whole lot of tunnel KPI. So it's a rich interface, and one that provides good insights into the roaming subscribers, whether they're visiting your network or visiting someone else's network. So basically, what do you do with the data? I already mentioned some use cases. I guess the main thing that everyone's after is monitoring the VPNM performance. So how are your subscribers treated by your roaming partners? Analyze the service performance of these networks, benchmark signaling performance, and compare, the actual quality against what was agreed on in the SLA, and also statistics on call drop ratios and redial rate, etc., per roaming partner, and that can be quite interesting to compare the different providers. A bit less of interest maybe the foreign roamers in your network, but you may be asked to provide some reporting on this, and so obviously this is also of interest. And then I only mentioned it once, but obviously between you and the interconnection partners, between the VPNs, there is an IPX, and you will also obviously want to know how the network transport performance and the signaling performance is for the IPX service, although it's a bit of a challenge to distinguish between the individual PMN performance and the IPX performance, because they're concatenated. So that may be a bit of a challenge or requires some more digging into the data. And also, and finally, lastly, speaking of digging, you also want to know, when maybe some high-profile customer complaints, you will want to know, you will want to have data on individual calls for troubleshooting and for analyzing the user experience in more detail. So I hope I sort of gave a bit of an overview, and now let's get Amir on stage.
Hey,
Hi, thanks Amir for being with us today.
thank you so much.
Amir, you're working at Partner Networks in Israel, one of the incumbents there, and you're also responsible for the roaming services and monitoring those services. And I mean, before we dive in, I basically said in the beginning that the market had settled for SADHR. Did you discuss alternatives in the past? Or when did you decide that, when did you see that the market was going for SADHR?
Okay, basically a few years ago when we have started the implementation of the VoLTE roaming, besides the easy one, the S8 home routing, there was the local breakout that was one of the options, but that was just removed from the table quite fast, because it was really not an easy task. It's not like a S8 home routing, which is quite very fast doing that. Of course, local breakouts has its own advantages, but if you see now the market is going quite in a heavy manner towards the S8 home routing, and also we are seeing that in the coming years. So I'm not seeing that the local breakout is going to be in the near future.
So you think it's coming back?
No, the local breakout, no.
Oh, okay.
The S8 home routing will be with us, in the coming years.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's also my, what I get from our customers. So I would definitely agree on this. Yeah, let's see how things develop, but I think we can be quite sure on this. Did you before VoLTE roaming came up monitor the S8? Was there any use for this apart from roaming now?
No, basically the S8 covers the entire roaming, not only the VoLTE part, but also the browsing. And of course, for our customers, since we are investing a lot of efforts in order just to have their really good customer experience, so we are monitoring the S8. And now out of the big pipe of the S8, we're just pinpointing the RTP and then the SIP for the IMS, and then we're doing that. This is my kid.
Send regards.
Yeah.
I mean, I basically postulated that the main interest will be in monitoring your own subscribers, monitoring in foreign networks. Is that true for you? Are you interested in the foreign subscribers in your network?
Fair question. Basically we're focusing, in our for our customers, so we are doing a lot of efforts in order just to pinpoint everything from our customers' point of view. But on the other side, we are also monitoring, the customers that are, coming towards a partner network, and we're troubleshooting that in case of any issue that we are having with our interconnect partner. Of course, we are working with them. So the answer is yes, but we are more focused towards our customers.
Sure, but I mean, if we look at so basically the use case for main use case, let's say for your subscribers, monitoring the service quality for your subscribers in foreign networks, that's really a monitoring use case, whereas foreign subscribers in your own network, that would be more like a troubleshooting use case on an individual basis?
I think that's, yeah, you covered that quite, you're right. There is, there is troubleshooting and monitoring, and of course troubleshooting we're using for the foreign roamers, and we are covering, the entire portfolio of the monitoring for our customers, and we're taking also the RTP, and we're analyzing the RTP. So yeah, there's quite difference between how we are seeing the monitoring towards our customers.
How important do you see, because you mentioned RTP or the in-call quality, how important is that in the roaming context? I mean, I guess in the SLAs you also fix the codecs to be used, and so that you would also be interested in codec monitoring, basically, also.
Basically RTP is customer experience.
Yeah, sure.
So most of the time the signaling, the SIP signaling and diameter and everything, it's okay. Of course, there are sometimes where we see that there are some issues, but from customer experience, the RTP, the most quality, delay, jitter, and other parameters that we are analyzing, they're quite crucial in order to make sure that our customers get the best service. So yes, the SLA is very important for us.
Sure. Let's maybe talk a bit about encryption for a bit, because so far it's VoLTE roaming traffic is, from our experience and from what we see, I wouldn't say not encrypted, because there are some carriers, but most of the traffic is not encrypted. Let's put it this way. Do you want your subscribers to enjoy encrypted communication, or is your traffic encrypted? What do you see?
Basically that depends. Also, you have the other side, the interconnect partners. So there are some partners that that insist that the all communication that will be encrypted. Some of them they are okay that that it will not be encrypted. Basically, it's encryption or encryption null.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the trade-off, but that depends on the agreement that we are doing with our partners.
I'm asking because if you're monitoring VoLTE, like using passive monitoring a VoLTE network, as I mentioned in the introduction, you get the keys from the MW, and you can also as a probing vendor, you can monitor the SGI, S8, whatever. If you have the key, you can decrypt the signaling traffic, and I mean the RTP you see in any case. But with the split between the roaming network and the IMS of the home network, you basically don't have a chance, if we look forward maybe into a fully encrypted world, then basically you wouldn't even see the foreign roamer traffic in your monitoring tool, because with encrypted signaling, typically you don't see, you just don't know it's there. It's just TLS. And so do you see this will be an issue? I mean, for your own subscribers, because you have the keys, you can decrypt, that's fine. But what is the reason why there's so little encryption at the moment? Do you have any idea?
That's a good. This is a good question. That depends, of course. From our side, Encryption is very important, but you know that depends. Of course, in our network, we are encrypting, you know, in the S1U, of course, and everything in the access side is encrypted. For S8, it's a bit different. Okay, and you know, as I said before, that depends also in what are the agreement with our you know, telco partners. And the question why most of them doesn't insist that the line or that pipe would be encrypted. You know, this is a good question. I think
maybe let's not get political here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But bear in mind, I think that but you know, in the future it's going to be changed. When when we are going towards the 5G standalone, you know, most of the communication will be encrypted, and I guess that also for voice over new radio and the roaming that would be when using, you know, the SEP entity for the 5G. So I think, you know, the encryption is going to take a really large part in that implementation.
Okay. Maybe I already see Lilach waving. Maybe one last question, because sort of out of personal interest. I mean, I've been with VoLTE Future now for, I don't know, 13 years or 14 or whatnot. And I mean, definitely our focus is on voice monitoring. But you know, we get interesting requests sort of left and right from time to time. But the one thing that only came up with VoLTE roaming was SMS. Do you, we were asked to implement SMS monitoring. Is this something that is also of interest for you? And if so, why? Why only now?
Yeah, sure. Bear in mind that, you know, in the along the road that now most of the service providers are running through the VoLTE S8 home routing, and also they are implementing the SMS over IP. They are using the IMS platform for the SMS part. So I think, you know, that will take also a big part of the implementation for the IMS.
Okay.
But you know, I bear in mind that the SMS is reducing over time, and you know, the RCA.
Yeah, I mean that's why I mean, not being able to call while traveling, that's a pain. But I mean, SMS. But okay, I mean, we're happy. It's implemented, and customers are happy, and so all is good. Lilach.
Okay, yeah. So wanted to thank you know, all of you guys that you showed up for your time, for your attention today. You know, if you want to share this session with any of your colleagues, we will have the recording ready and available on our website. If you want to hear more on that or any other topic, feel free to contact us, set up a one-on-one meeting. Again, the best way to do that would be through our website. And finally, you know, for updates on VoLTE roaming and any other voice monitoring related subject, follow us on LinkedIn and get, you know, the most updated posts and news. And finally, before we turn this session off, thank you, Michael, and thank you, Amir, for a very insightful session. Appreciate your time, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Amir. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you around.